starting here.
See, this is by 缘分, what is meant to be. I have this great honor to have Yao Shifu. Yao Shifu is this Buddha does nothing else but healing, and also is the ancestor of herbal usage. And the Yao Shi and Huangdi, Yellow Emperor, and Lao Tzu are the three sage or true humans or spirits, however you want to call them, that they are the three to really provide healing. And Lao Tzu is the discoverer of yin and yang, right? And the Huangdi is the discoverer of basic ideas and concept of medicine. And Yao Shi says that if you want to have well-being, you must have a peaceful heart. If you want to have a peaceful heart, you must have a mind. So then meditation and all these other things are created or discovered by Yao Shi. By Yao means medicine, right? It's a medicine Buddha. So, and I got this to really provide guidance and blessings to all of us, right? So I shall put Yao Shifu back. So should we give people a little bit? Because I can also show you my little turtle.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay. So my recorder has problems. And can you give me that little turtle? Yeah. So we're going to talk about a part of our teaching is going to be vagus nerve and stress management today. So they have just done studies. I think it's a 10-year study, just came out, study sea turtles. And so I have this made for me. Yes, I love turtles. And actually can move, see? But anyways, so why sea turtles can live a long life and also can have longevity. And so one of the things is that sea turtle has really well activated stress repair gene. So how to get there and in human terms, and we're going to do a little bit of teaching today, how to do 5 movements to really help to calm the central nerve system, the vagus nerve system. So we shall live like this turtle. So let me know when you want me to start.
I think we're ready, Dr. Lu, if you are.
Okay.
Or anytime you are, rather.
All right. Good afternoon, my people. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Sunday. So after the teaching, let's all go out and have a garden walk. So our first part, and let's do a deep breathing first. A deep breathing is a part of Taoist exercise. The purpose really is to teach people how to breathe in and out. There is a frequency, there is a rhythm with a healing energy of nature. So if we breathe in as deep as we can, breathe out as deep as we can, and use our body instead of just our mouth, just to relax and thinking ourselves as a beautiful 500 years old oak tree, just our roots are very deep, and we transform ourselves into the essence of healing. We will do 10 together. So now we will do our energy movements together. So the first movement is really gently open up our triple burner. That brings out yang energy and flow of energy. You can hear our Afu's gentle snoring, which is perfect. And the second movement is to make sure our Afu is 13, by the way, teaching with us for a long time. To really bring in the balance of our large intestines and our lungs. So I strongly recommend people, especially young people, to do these movements. Because we have seen a lot of young people have rectal cancer. And we'll talk a little bit into why is that, but this movement can help you to open up your lungs and your colon. Now we're balancing our gut system. We say the gut system is a very, very important system of a balanced health. And this is intercommunication between the yin and yang. Water my hands, right? Always remember, in any healing tradition, every little detail has meaning. How your heart and energy and your kidney interact. How the yin and yang interact. If people have emotional disturbance, neck pain, and vagus nerve disturbance, this is a good movement. And then this is a fire horse summer. This is how you balance the heart system. Brain health, heart health, kidney through spine. Longevity comes from partially flexibility. Now we're stretching our fascia system. Now, liver system. We'll have bladder, kidney stones, restless legs, neuropathy. This is a good movement. And hemorrhoids, if people have hemorrhoids, and leakage. This is a good movement. Now we're entering the last two. That's our yang movements. Longevity movements. You try to stretch that tendon, right? And the fascia system. Give your spine, your fascia, a little space to breathe. Now, we are going to relax. Yes, we'll relax together. Okay. Now we'll have a little water. We just need to make a little bit adjustment to the camera because Apple have decided to take my spot. Which is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm sure he can make a much better teacher. So today I thought we'll talk about a little bit of yang energy, since it is a fire horse summer, yang, 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 and vagus nerve, and give you some tips how to really balance your vagus nerves and how to reduce your stress. So we have been trying Moxa for a month now, almost a month. So people really love it. And what is it? And why are we doing it? And what I mean yang energy and what I'm talking about. So how to really relate to our daily life. So in traditional Chinese medicine, and there is two type of energy that really flow in our system, right? Flow through the fascia system is the energy of yin, energy of yang, and the space. We hold the space. That's why the fascia system is very important. And also, many of our patients have sent or seekers have sent us the article about now the Western medicine has discovered channels. So the channels that are, yes, they are channels. They are the channels that we use when we do acupuncture. So, and so now East and West both agree the channels do exist. Has been existing since before us, right? Because we are the human forms, and before us, the dinosaurs and all these other beings, they have channels as well. So the channels run through the fascia system, right? The energy of yin and energy of yang also runs through, we call Jingluo are channels. Jing is the big channels, Luo is the small channels. Luo also in Western medicine translated as the central nervous system. They're everywhere, right? The vagus nerve is one of the main Jing system, one of the bigger nerve system, but nerve system is everywhere. We call that electric panels. So now we begin to see the Eastern and Western medicine, we're talking about things that the bridge begin to build, right? We understand, oh yeah, this is what we have been discovered long time ago. This is what we have been using, and this is the West have discovered, and this is what they have been using, because the best medicine really is integrative medicine, isn't it? So that's been said. So what is it if we put in, if we can, in one sentence, what is the yin? Yin is really the foundation of everything, right? The food is yin, right? The blood is yin, and everything runs through. So it's like the production, right? It's the foundation of that energy. So when yin transform into what? Into yang. Yang is just the power station that is yang, right? Yang is to give you energy to do, right? If yin is the blood, then yang is the energy, right? Yang give you power to do everything that you function in life and beyond. So one people, but what does Moxa mostly do when we say, oh yeah, Moxa bring out yang energy? We're not bringing it out. We are just simply help the transformation by reducing stagnation, dampness. So the yin energy you produce in your body can transform without delay, without waste, with as little as possible into yang energy. And then part of it, you will save it for later use. Part of it, it's going to run your daily activities. And part of it is going to really power your immune system. So when people says that, oh, that yang energy has a lot to do with longevity. Of course, if you don't have energy, you're dead, right? And you're not well, and you are weak. So, but how to transform from yin to yang, right? And what does it is part of the help is what is through movements, meditation, go out walking, exercise, energy movements, on all these things will help. But a little bit extra help, especially dampness has become a pandemic. in modern society. I really do think it's because there's just so many things, man-made disasters and throw at us, right? The stress, and we're running around, well, people are running around like that little mouse in that little wheel, right? You can't get a break. The food is being poisoned, the air is unclean, and people have very extreme emotions, very little spirituality. So all these factors that really damage the energy, the basic energy, yin and yang. So, and then create a lot of stagnation and dampness. So that's why right, summertime is a good time to slowly help yang energy to come out, to transform that yang energy so you can be well. Because without your immune system, without the energy, then you just won't be well. So one of the method is through moxa. So that's what we call Jiu. Jiu is really help you to reduce dampness and to gently, and then to really make that dampness dry, that dampness. So the dampness will be able to sweat out through your skin. That's why when people do Jiu, when you walk into the room, that through the smell of smoke, you also can smell the dampness reducing, right? If people have a lot of dampness, that will take a while. If people have little dampness, and then you will feel it right away. So that's one of the methods. So I'm going to show you this box we use. I thought it was very well designed because you have these holes you can make, because the herbal smoke has to come out, right? And that goes into all of your holes, right? Your eyes, your nostrils, your ear canal, and all these things, up and down. So then that is a very healing smoke, right? Because what are we smoking people with? We're smoking people with this is moxa, jiu. So our jiu is very different compared to the regular jiu, because the regular jiu, well, I don't recommend you get a regular jiu, especially here, you don't know where they're from. So, but this is the main ingredients is, what is that English word for it? The Chinese mugwort, right? So you can look it up. But what we do is we use 10 years old Chinese mugwort, and then we roll them. And then we have our second step is we put them in brewing herbs. So we have different formulas. Now we have 3 formulas in our clinic. One is treating long COVID plus bring yang energy. And that also bring yang energy in translate in Western words is cancer prevention, right? Because you really boost your balance, your immune system, reduce dampness. So, and the second formula is hormone balance, right? Plus reduce dampness, plus cancer prevention. And then the third one is reduce dampness and weight management, and bring the yang energy out. So what we do is that some of you already experienced, right? We literally will light it up and we put it in the box, right? We use either 2, 3, 4, eventually maybe some people can handle 5, and to wait for this slowly smoke down. Oh, and then the other thing in summertime, that this year mosquitoes are super bad, and they're not bad, and they're actually quite dangerous. So if you smoke yourself once a month, mosquitoes are less likely to kiss you, because they just hate the smell of it. And then the other thing is that if we used to use this, the ashes of the smoke. The ashes of the smoke you put under your bed and you won't have bed bugs. And you put in certain part and the rats, they don't like that. So, but anyways, so this is our new. This is Jiu is our new thing, and if you feel, oh, I have too much dampness, right? So what we do, then what we do acupuncture for is to really, acupuncture will help to reduce the toxins, reduce the inflammation, and reduce the stagnation, right? You can move that dampness. After you move that dampness, you smoke, and then that will further reduce. So then the yin and yang, after we reduce inflammation and stagnation and toxins, and then can transform into yang with little delay, with as little waste as we can. So that really is why we have pushed out this whole chapter of yang, the whole chapter of Moxa, to help people reduce their dampness and get your Jingluo, get those channels open up, and cancer prevention. So that's why we're doing it. That's what it is. I would recommend people to start doing that. You know, you have to get several treatment in and to have that enough and then to move it up. Have it enough and have to move out. So if people are really super damp, you will do it every other week. If you are regular damp, you will do it once a month. And if people, you know, every time when we go to China, we do very intensive Moxa treatment and other treatment comes with it. I smoke myself 7 days, I would say 2 hours of Jiu, and among other things, I do 7 hours, 5 hours treatment per day. But anyways, so this is something that I will recommend people to start doing more regularly. If you feel you fit in the category of longevity and reduce dampness, and as a result, you will lose a couple pounds here because this is mostly just inflammation and dampness. And the fat tissues, the fat cells here, they are not solid fat, they are fluffy fat. So the smoke can get some out of it. But that does not replace your exercise and other things, right? This is just a little bit extra to really, because I am slowly introduce more method into transform them into modern usage. Just because I think the world is going through interesting times, and we just need to protect ourselves more, not less. And that is what it is. So that's been said. So that is the yang energy and why we're doing that. So the box we put is mostly, right, we put to focus on middle and lower burner because a lot of channels are here, right, little channels are here. So that in turn, we're going to help with vagus nerve system, because the nerve system goes in to the middle and become many, and then not many, 9 areas. We call Jiu Gong, the middle and lower. If you divide them, you will divide them into 9 parts, and each part, well, that's another story for another day, but each part will do certain things for you, right? But we focus on the middle part first. We focus on Sangong and 3 of the 9 to really just reduce your dampness first. This can do other things as well, but we focus on this little thing first. And that will in turn goes up, help with the nerve system, right? because a lot of people, especially young people, have central nerve deficiency, right? That is actually really closely related to how well we can manage our stress. So now another Western study has discovered that, oh, why a lot of young people nowadays are really lacking of resilience, and they don't know how to cope when the stressful situation occurs. Because, well, in traditional Chinese medicine, we believe 9 the 9 palace, right? Your electric panels that need to be exercised, that need to be used by really. That's another story, is that what is the role of teachers, mentors, and parents really is to help kids, to give them a safe environment, but make them more resilient by putting them sometimes in the situation, challenging situations, instead of giving them everything they ever wanted or put them in a very comfortable situation. Because if you're comfortable, there's no point for you to develop certain coping mechanism. And if that is not used, it's like a language, it's like anything else. You don't use it, you lose it. So that's part of the things that at our clinic that we use a lot of really wonderful young people. But I always try to get their nerve system up a little bit, just to, exercise that biggest nerve to see how can we all help them to become more confident and more resilient. Because you can't prepare the road for your children, but you can prepare children for the road ahead. So that's been said. So then if they have that, they will activate their stress repair gene, that is the sea turtle gene, that also we have them in ourselves. And that, one thing interesting about sea turtle is that they rarely get cancer. Isn't that interesting? Part of the Western discovery is because they know how to cope and repair the stress. It's not, oh, you don't get stress, but you get it and you're resilient and you move forward with little harm. That's in Eastern medicine. We call that a flow of energy. You just flow with it. So, are there tips what we can do in modern world quickly to really reduce that nerve deficiency? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, there are things you can do quickly that will help, but also no is that does not replace that you really try always to have a calm heart and calm mind. Go out in nature, take a walk, do your energy movements, eat well, sleep well, poop well. These tips we give you does not replace that. And that is a lifestyle. It can't be replaced. But if you want something you can do in a stressful situation, your office, family gatherings, or whatever it is. So here we are. So there are 5 steps you can do. Some you can do it at home before you go. Some you can do at work. So step 1 is you hold your neck, right? And you press down, right? And you try to be like that turtle. You move your head up. And you move your hands down. And then you turn like a turtle. Turn back. And again, up and down. These two lines are important. And you hold it. You turn your head like a turtle. Now, I want you to really imagine yourself as a turtle and that long neck up, up. That also can reduce your wrinkles, by the way. And you do 5 to 10 times. 1 or 2 times a day. So that is step 1. Step 2 is you move your arm up, right? Move your arm up, okay? And then you are opening up these channels, and then this is where you have a lot of lymph, right? And then just massage it. It's under your armpit. You do 5 times on each arm. You can do 2 or 3 as a group. Because this, the heart meridian line goes through that. We call that a 波心经, right? You're really massaging the heart meridian line. Remember we said you want to be well, you need to have a peaceful heart. How to get a peaceful heart and healthy heart? A part of it is make sure you get your channel open. There are major intersections right here. It's under your arm. So 3, find your nipples. In the middle of your nipple is what we call 膻中, right? That if people have heart palpitation, panic attack, cannot take deep breath, and you should make sure the shoulder blades is back, right? Make sure the shoulders, and so yeah. 5 to 10 times, 2 or 3 times. So this is step 3. Step 4, and just find this line. And here is Shenmen, the gate of your spirit, right here, right here, right here. So what do? You put your hands like this. You do 5 to 10 times, 2 or 3 times each set. So that will help you to open up the gate of your spirit, reduce your stress level, lower your cortisol. This you can do anywhere. And 5, smile. Have a smile on your face, because when people is so interesting how we designed. When we smile, the nerve system is active in a balanced way. When we are angry, that is really twisted. So then the stress will get worse. So what you do? Smile. When you smile, all these systems are up and running and beautifully. And plus you have always beautiful smile, so why not do it? So this 5 steps really is a quick way and very effective way to balance that vagus nerve system, to really calm our mind, and so we can have a peaceful heart. So I will leave. And then the other thing is that really, my mentor used to say that, he says, well, 日出东海落西山，愁也一天，乐也一天. So it's that the sun will rise, and from Eastern Sea will go down from West Ocean. And if you feel happy is a day, you feel unhappy is a day, choose to be happy. So I will leave some time for questions.
Dr. Lu, thank you so much. What I think is always so profound is just how accessible these teachings are. So this routine you just demonstrated, I mean, it's like you said, at the office, at home, sitting outside, maybe not driving, but still pretty
Yeah, but
accessible nonetheless, which is so incredibly helpful. No gym required. Dr. Lu, you had mentioned earlier the core, so the three formulas that you gave for the mock-up, if I may go back to that. Actually, I was taking some notes. It sounds like the cancer prevention is a component in
yes,
every
for
single one,
through all of it. Yeah.
for all of it.
That's
So
really is why one of the reasons I have one or two tricks, right? So we will bring out more and more. You can you like I said, yeah, look, we got to prepare ourselves for the road, right? And the world is what it is, right? So then what we do is we transform from the yin to yang and we keep ourselves well. So yes, so that is throughout all the formulas.
thank you so much, Dr. Lu. I think there's a little bit of confusion as to like the smoking aspect of the herbs. Um, so could you tell us a little bit about the mechanism? And I know people will come in and have the opportunity to experience it, but for instance, there was a question, are we like actually using the herbs that you showed to smoke like a cigarette? So can you
Yes, we are using
demonstrate?
that. We have made it in our herbal store in China, and we have some at the clinic, and more are coming. And we have different categories, and so when people sign up, and I will basically tell our Moxa practitioner and which one is using for what. In our trying, we're just using a reduced dampness, and that for everyone. And but when people are doing programs and start doing that, and they will be assigned, right? So we have box one is for what, box for two, box three. So sometimes we may use a combination because remember you're going through different areas. I may do different things. So I'll design the program for you, just like I designed the program for practitioners. So you know each time you come in what I'm doing, why I'm doing.
That's wonderful, Dr. Lu. Are there any things to expect after a Moxa treatment?
Um, you will feel, I think that 98% of people actually really love that smell. And sometimes people feel that they, I think from our feedback, and they feel good. They feel that sometimes bring the toxins out and they can see it right away. Sometimes they feel they're too damp, that will take longer for the dampness to reduce. But in general, people feel lighter, and they feel really warm inside. So we haven't really have the people we tried with um, that feel it's too strong for them. But maybe some they may feel it's too strong, but we just haven't had the case yet.
Sorry, Dr. Lu, last question regarding the Moxa, and then I will pivot. How long of a treatment is it to be expected?
From 35 to 40 minutes. It depends on how damp you are. If you are damper, we may put a little more, and that may keep you longer. If you are less damp and you get heat up quickly, and we may just give you a little less, and we may do different things. Yeah, but meaning that I may just kind of reduce dampness and also focus on weight or focus on long COVID, and we'll see. And depends on individuals.
Well, I will just let our participants know that this has actually been a long time coming. We are so excited to have it, Dr. Lu. I know the team is anxiously awaiting to try it as well. So We are very excited. Thank you for making that available to all of us. I'm sure we will be learning a great deal as we go along.
It's really fun. It's really fun. It's life is a fun journey, you know? You gotta you just gotta really flow with it and have fun with it.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. Speaking of life is a fun journey, I want to talk or ask you actually a little bit about this idea of cultivating emotional resilience. So you touched on this idea of sort of challenging children, but then we're also trying to navigate the stressors that are sort of really bombarding a lot of young families, a lot of our patients coming through the clinic. I know it's a big question, but if you could give us a place to start of how to walk that line.
I think I will start with have a little bit of fascia and discipline set up. It's okay for them to not always be that comfortable. And it's okay for them to feel, oh no, this is not fair. And according to their own definition of fairness, it is okay for them to be sad a little bit. It is okay for them to it is okay to have all the emotions practice. And because we have a say, we say that, oh, all the kids, they come in with a bucket of good luck, a bucket of bad luck. That is just balance. And parents don't use their bad good luck just because you don't know what to do or you want to take an easy approach. Save their good luck. Let them use some of their bad lucks. They will thank you. So, and of course, there are little practice we can do. We are developing a whole chapter of how to help children to cope with that. So stay tuned, that is coming.
That's really wonderful, Dr. Lu. Thank you so much. I guess I will just share something I recently read, and it was around the idea of teaching children to love nature, because if not loving nature, then there's no one left to protect nature, right? Like they are that next generation. So thank you so much, Dr. Lu, as always.
And that is, Sarah, I think that is so important, is that let them out in nature and trust that nature has the power to heal, right? So when I was a kid, when I was upset, I used to tell the trees about it. And then you literally do feel better after. And then the trees never ask you questions, but they do give you a lot of guidance and then hug you back. So that is an excellent idea to always take your kids out and let them be in nature.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lu. We are unfortunately out of time on this Sunday. If there's any closing thoughts you have, thank you as always.
Well, I just feel life is there to be enjoyed. And then we shall enjoy. And whatever it is outside the world, we shall flow it through. Like my grandmother always said, if there's nothing else we can do, we can always outlive them.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Lu.
We stay on for the meeting or just wait until people leave.